So as someone that thought a Wicked movie should have come out 15 years ago, I wasn't as excited for this as I wanted to be. But after seeing the film for myself, am I ready to pack my bags and buy a one-way ticket to Munchkinland? Not quite, but there's still a lot to enjoy here. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? I'm Sully, and today I'm excited because we're talking about the brand new big budget adaptation of the musical Wicked. All you need to know about this one is that the story goes like this. Elphaba, a misunderstood young woman because of her green skin, and Glinda, a popular girl, become friends at Shiz University in the land of Oz. After an encounter with the wonderful Wizard of Oz, their friendship reaches a crossroads. So as someone that went to elementary school in the early 2000s, I remember that you couldn't even walk in the general direction of a theater kid without them gushing about Wicked. And I gotta admit, the hype was real. I was able to see a stage production of the play when I was probably in the 5th grade and absolutely loved it from start to finish. But with that being said, when I heard that they were cooking up a big budget adaptation for it, I was nowhere near as excited as I would have been if it had come out like 15 years ago when it was sweeping the nation. There was a part of me that felt maybe the ship had sailed and nobody really cared about Munchkinland anymore. Well, I'm happy to report that for the most part, Wicked is able to offer up a good stage to screen adaptation thanks to some great performances and impressive production value. We gotta talk about the performances here for a second because everyone knows with a musical production that's this beloved, you absolutely have to find two people that are able to fully embody the main characters. It's non-negotiable. Luckily for us, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are totally up to the task when it comes to having both the acting and singing chops required to pull these two roles off. Their chemistry together is really good, and they absolutely blow the roof off the place when it comes to the musical numbers. They completely understood the assignment and, unsurprisingly, are the glue that holds this entire project together. I think the rest of the cast does a pretty good job here too, even though Jonathan Bailey looks like the Billy Madison of Shiz University because there's no way that guy's young enough to be a college student. But everyone adds to the larger-than-life attitude the movie's putting off and makes you feel like you're watching a fantasy melting pot of all different walks of life. Another massive selling point of this movie is its production value and its aesthetic. It's honestly really refreshing to see a blockbuster completely make use of the big budget at its disposal and leave it all on the screen, which is more than we can say about a lot of the blockbusters that have come out this year outside of a select few titles. The unique settings and the quirky characters are so important in a film like this, and they do a really good job making this universe feel lived in. Once you get swept up in the world building, you won't bat an eye while watching a goat teaching a college lecture or a bear helping to deliver a baby. But in all seriousness, the set design, the costumes, and the choreography all work together and have such a high level of detail to them that it's hard not to just succumb to the energy the movie is putting out scene after scene. I won't lie though, the actual lighting of the film leaves a lot to be desired. The production value is just so high in all other areas of the movie that the good vastly outweighs the bad here. But I mean, come on now. Even I know how to properly light my little studio, and I am a genuine bonehead. Getting into the meat and potatoes of this story though, I think the pacing and the plot structure wasn't as tight as it could have been. This first movie, which is effectively only half of the story but still has a runtime of 2 hours and 40 minutes long, matches the duration of the complete musical production in its entirety from start to finish. And the musical itself is already so well paced, so there's a lot of added material and fluff in the film adaptation. That's not to say what was tacked on wasn't enjoyable, but I feel like it meandered in a lot of areas where it didn't need to, but then also quickly rushed through some important junctures of character development. I won't go into specifics in case you somehow don't know how the story goes, but one character goes through a lot of transformations in regards to how they're perceived by the world around them. And those moments kind of felt like they happened at the drop of a hat in the movie. I just didn't fully buy into the sudden perception changes other than for the sole reason that they were required to further progress the plot. Even though I definitely enjoyed this movie from beginning to end, some of that window dressing could have been cut back in favor of spending time on making those story beats feel more believable and hit a little bit harder. Overall, guys, I think Wicked does a solid job honoring the original musical while also tackling the task of transferring it from the stage to the big screen. The performances, the choreography, and the visuals all work together to make you feel like you've been transported right into the middle of the Land of Oz, even if the pacing and the lighting try their best to ruin the immersion. I think if you're someone that's absolutely obsessed with the Broadway musical, maybe you can overlook some of the criticisms I have with the movie, but all in all, it's still a very solid big budget adaptation. Wicked gets a Sully score of 3.5 stars. So that's my review for the latest musical. What do you think is your favorite musical film in recent years? I'd probably have to say Tick Tick Boom, but let me know in the comments below what you think. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys at the next one.